So we're here with Jen Annett, who is racing the long course triathlon on Sunday here at Challenge Penticton. How are you, Jen?
I'm great, thank you.
And so this is a hometown race for you. It's kind of exciting. You've raced the past few years and you're here as an ambassador for the race. Can you tell us a bit about why you love racing Challenge Penticton so much?
Well, being local is amazing, and obviously it's a close race. It's right out my doorstep. I know every little section of the course like the back of my hand, but it's nothing compares to racing as a local. It's no matter what kind of shape I'm in going into a race, it's too much fun, and the community support around here is great. It's great knowing so many spectators, and then of course hopefully doing well. It's just kind of a bonus on top of that.
Yeah. And you've had a great season so far. We've seen you racing at a lot of Canadian races, 70.3 Victoria, Great White North. Can you tell us how your season's been going and maybe the highlights for you so far?
So far as a whole, my season has been actually going really well. I've done a couple local races and podiumed on those. Went to Texas in May, and that wasn't the greatest race. That was supposed to be my A race, but unfortunately the heat took a toll on me, and I turned out very sick on the run. So I did finish, but definitely wasn't the race I wanted. And then I went on to Victoria about a month later, 70.3 there, and placed third. Coeur d'Alene, I did the 70.3 there a couple weeks later and came sixth. And then a week after that, I went to Michael Brown's race up just out of Edmonton in Stony Plain, and that's a half as well, and won that one. And then came here to do the Peach, which is just one of my favorite local races here. Peach Classic has been around for 35 years, and won that one actually with Jeff Simons here, so that was a lot of fun.
That's great. And so obviously you're based in Penticton and you have a family here, so you spend your year training. What's it like training here? You've got the mountains, in the summer you've got beautiful lakes. How do you structure your training to take advantage of the scenery here?
Well, I try to get outside as much as I can. I'm not a big fan of the treadmill. I know there's a lot of benefits to using a treadmill, but I don't really like it. So I do run year round, even in the winter time. I do a lot of my training outside of family time. So I'm one of those crazy people that's up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm out doing my hour-and-a-half long run, and I've done a half marathon by 6 o'clock in the morning. But I love it. I mean, it means getting outside and not having to be inside. In terms of the rest of the training off-season, winter time, I've definitely took up a lot more trainer riding, which has had huge benefits actually to my cycling this year. It always was a strength, but now it's actually become even more of a strength. So I'm really starting to realize what those indoor training sessions, the benefits of them. But I mean, we can't complain about what we have here. It's one of the most beautiful places I think in the world to train, and we have so much different terrain and so many different cycling and running routes just right out our doorstep. So
it's great. And so later in the year we're going to see you at Ironman Arizona. Have you looked ahead to next year yet? What are you thinking sort of long term as a professional?
Well, Kona next year is the ultimate goal. Obviously it's all in how the season unfolds and how if I can stay healthy and train hard, and of course I always have the support of my family, but the continued support of my family to make these things happen. So we'll see how Arizona goes, and then kind of go from there. I'll probably take a bit of a training break through the winter, or I guess a racing break, but train through the winter, and then pick up a couple of races in the early spring, and then just see how it unfolds from there. I'd like to try to do as many local races as I can. Once again, just going back to, it's just so much fun to be a local athlete. So.
And speaking of that, we just saw you give a great talk with some some age groupers who are out racing here on Sunday. Do you have any tips you can give people for racing this unique distance, but also maybe doing their first long course triathlon in general?
I mean, this race itself is actually, this distance is a first for myself, as it is, I think, for almost everybody that's going to be out there on the start line. So, I mean, in terms of strategy, it's pretty much a 3/4 distance. So you can't attack it like a half iron, because that last 10K of the run, I mean, 30K is a lot longer the run than 20K. And it's that last 10K where it's really going to start to fall apart if you've kind of approached it more as a half iron. Now you do want to stay kind of within your plan, and as Jeff kind of said, there will be those people that go and approach the bike as a half bike, and those will probably be the people that, if you can stick to your plan, those will be the people that you'll be passing again on the run. And it's just a matter of actually staying in your own game, and not kind of letting everybody else's race or the way that they're planning on taking things affect your race. Of course, staying hydrated and making sure you're taking in your nutrition. I mean, nutrition's always referred to as the fourth discipline in this sport, and it's always so important. My biggest piece of advice, and I'm sure everybody has heard it before, is just stick with what you're used to. I know that there's some different products that are out there this year on the course, and if you haven't been using them in training, don't use them on race day, because sometimes you'll get lucky and you're okay, but the majority of the time you'll find that plan will backfire for sure.
And are we going to see you out for Worlds next year? It's pretty exciting. It's coming to Penticton.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome to be able to race Worlds here as a local. I'm crossing my fingers that it will happen, but we'll have to see what Sunday brings.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Jen. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.